Alrighty, folks at home, we hope you're having a fantastic day in your neck of the woods. Go ahead and spam one in the chat if we are live and if you can hear, as it is windy out here, and it probably won't be a long show because it's very windy out here, very hot out here, but nonetheless we'll try and go for at least 30 minutes here today, but we might go longer if the audio isn't too shabby. Okay, the audio is pretty terrible, but that's to be expected. Of course, the day that I don't bring the audio equipment is the day that we have to face terrible audio conditions. Let's go ahead and get a one in the chat, folks. We are live, and we actually got some breaking news within the games industry, and it is going to correlate, I can guarantee you, to Grand Theft Auto 6. When you're ready for this conversation, let me know, and let's deploy the troops. Let's get people in here. And share this on the gaming forums, pack them in. That's what you got to do, folks, because if you don't, there's not much diversity in here, and as such, the conversation gets stale quick. So the more people that can get in here, especially that are new, that would be utterly fantastic. So the audio today, we're not going to have great audio. Let me tell you that, as I'm sure you can hear. But we aren't going to go long. We aren't going to go long for. We're not going to go live. We're not going to go. We're not going to be out here for a long time. Let me just put it to you that way, because my community has thrown the towel in. World Class didn't. World Class is hitting that go live button despite all the bullshit. Okay, that's what you need to know and understand. So I didn't throw the towel in. The woke libs did. And that's okay, because we didn't really want them watching. They probably are going to vote for Biden. And quite frankly, that just really could never be me. But nonetheless, we're out here and we are live. And we do have some new gaming news here today that will more than likely impact GTA 6. So let's go ahead and read this, folks. This is it right here. I need you to lock in. Sony will cut 250 jobs from its recordable media business key manufacturing hub amid a decline in demand for traditional storage formats, and will gradually cease production of optical disc storage media products, including Blu-ray discs, according to sources. So what this really means, folks, is that the Blu-ray discs inevitably aren't going to be a thing anymore. And what that means, especially for PlayStation going forward, is that inevitably, maybe with even PlayStation 6, there more than likely won't be physical media anymore. Now, you guys are fake gamers, you don't care, but that is the final nail in the coffin for the boomers like me who do prefer physical media. But quite frankly, my opinion does change on this, because I will tell you that the games that come out these days are quite frankly terrible. I don't want to own them. I would rather pay $15 a month to subscribe to a service where I don't own these terrible games, so we can play them for $15 as opposed to going out and buying a disc for $70 that doesn't even have the full game on it. Okay? If you come through and pop the cherry, what we're going to do for you here today is we're going to put you on the list. That's right, folks at home. We're going to put you on the list. So if you come through here today and pop the cherry, we're going to put you on the list, okay? So right here is the list, and we're going to put you on there. If you come through and go above and beyond, and so far no one has come through and gone above and beyond. Quite frankly, very sad. It is GTA 6 discussion time. It is a conversation that you can't handle. But the first one to pop the cherry is getting right up there on that list that I know and that I can tell you. When you can get people in here that want to discuss the world of video games, the show will come back. And the show will be back. And it will be back bigger and better than ever. So I didn't throw the towel in. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Doe's life never threw the towel in. And he never will. But the folks at home did. And that's on them. They threw the towel in. They said they were done. And that's fair. You don't have to enjoy the show. You don't have to like the show. It's very evident who does and very evident who doesn't. That's fine. Okay? But just know that World Class did not throw the towel in. And just know that World Class was there when no one else cared to be. So Who's going to be the first one on the brand new list here today? It is hot out here. The technology may overheat. The audio is terrible, but we do have the brand new list here today, and we are going to figure this out in a way that makes sense. And it looks like Justin is coming through. That's what we love to see. Justin is coming through and popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get you up on this list, bud. This is the brand new list here. And Justin is coming through, and he's popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. And as such, he's going to go ahead and get that crown. Justin is coming through a little big on there, but I suspect that that's not going to be really all that much of a problem because these fake fans cannot be bothered to come through. It is the saddest it's ever been, that I know and that I can tell you. And they clamor for entertainment. They clamor for these streamers to basically be on all the time and do all this free content for them, but they can never throw in any chump change into the bucket. Very sad. But I will tell you that Justin is coming through, and he's popping the cherry. He's got the crown right there. That's what we love to see, bud. Justin is coming through. We got a totally dead chat in here. I'm giving you 110% energy, and you guys can't follow suit. One in the chat, one in the chat, one in the chat. This is the first stream of the day. We're going to be live later today as well. Justin's coming through.
Justin super chatted.
And we know the audio is terrible,
you
but
will own nothing and be happy.
That's what they want. That's what these fake gamers want. And it is, quite frankly, very sad. It says right here, Sony will cut 250 jobs and will eventually cease production of the optical disc storage media products, including Blu-ray discs. So Blu-ray is going to become it's going to go the way of the dinosaur in the next 5 or 10 years, if I had to guess. Blu-ray is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Now, what does that ultimately mean for GTA 6? We have had conversations surrounding conversations surrounding the release of GTA 6 and asking, is GTA 6 going to be on disc? And now, with this news confirmed here today, and I know it's hard for you to listen, I know it's hard for you to hear, but we're going to do a short stream because the audio is just out of my control, okay? With that said, with the news confirmed today that Sony is eventually going to wind things down with the production of Blu-ray discs, what that ultimately means, okay, is that GTA 6, more than likely, if I had to guess, will not be launching on disc in 2025 or beyond, okay? So we're going to kick it into members only mode since no one else wanted to chat. So we're going to go ahead and throw it into members only mode. And that's what we're going to do. So we're throwing it into members only mode since no one else wanted to chat. Even the gray usernames couldn't be bothered to make the alts today. But we have Justin coming through, and he's coming through in a way that makes sense. And he will be the only one, I can tell you that, because these fake fans are pitiful, they are pathetic, and it is the worst community that I've ever seen on the entire internet. Justin is coming through, and in a way that makes sense. We'll get you that red box right around your name, bud, because you know what? Ain't nobody else going to come through. Justin remains, and hey, if you're the only one, that's all that matters, bud. It's just me and you, Justin. I'll just stream to you. We'll have one viewer. That's fine with me. One viewer is better than zero. Justin coming through, and in a way that makes sense. I don't know why the chat is so dead. Can you guys even hear? Let's check on the audio here. That's fine with me. Oh, the audio is fantastic. I mean, a little wind, but quite frankly, there should be conversation generating. It's a Saturday. You guys have excuses up the ass. And quite frankly, that just could never be me. You want to put the blame on me for having terrible content. You supported it for literally years on end. Make that make sense. Now all of a sudden the content is terrible? Really? Is that your narrative? Because it quite frankly doesn't make any bit of sense. But nonetheless, we're not here to discuss your fantasy mindset. We're here to discuss the reality of the situation. And again, this is big news, okay? The Blu-ray disc is eventually phasing out. What does that mean for GTA 6? The potential of GTA 6 releasing on Blu-ray day one might very well not be a thing, okay? It might not very well be a thing because Sony wants to phase out physical media. Eventually, Blu-ray is not going to be a thing. They just cut 250 jobs. Does this mean that GTA 6 is launching digital only? I think it does, because there's two benefits from launching digital only. First of all, prevents spoilers. It locks it down even further. Doesn't prevent it fully, but it locks it down even further if they go digital and go away with the disc for GTA 6. The second reason is convenience. No one wants to go to the store anymore. They don't want to get outside of grandma's basement. What they want to do instead is they want to purchase their games through the digital marketplace. So those are the two reasons right there why GTA 6 could very well release without a physical copy, at least when it initially launches in 2025. Again, 250 jobs just got cut as Sony is gradually ceasing production of optical disc storage media products, including Blu-ray discs. This is the end of physical media, and you guys don't care. Literally the end of physical media, and you guys do not care. And yet you proclaim to be a gamer. You proclaim, I'm a real gamer, Michael. Look at me, I want some attention. Yet you don't care about the fact that literally physical media is going the way of the dinosaur, more so now than ever before. The only ones that will remain in this game is likely Nintendo, with the Nintendo Switch 2 more than likely next year. So after the Nintendo Switch 2, the PlayStation 6 will be coming out, PS5 Pro probably before that, and as such, that's going to be a big indicator on where Sony wants to take it. Physical media is going the way of the dinosaur. As 250 jobs were cut, Sony is done with Blu-ray discs, as they want to eventually phase them out. Again, what that has to do with GTA 6 is you have to ask yourself, is GTA 6 going to release on disc? The big question right now is that. And quite frankly, if I had to guess, I think that the answer is that this game, GTA 6, is not releasing on disc day one. Now, the Zoomers won't care. They don't care about discs, but the Boomers will. The Boomers will, and that's the reality of the situation. Hard times. We got to go ahead and get that karaoke going, because I'm going to tell you what, someone else is getting put on the list. We got Justin, the current king of the jungle. I'm going to have to redo this list because it's way too fucking big. So we're going to have to redo this list, but we're going to make sure that we got that right. Justin is coming through, and this thing's getting really hot out here, unfortunately. This is how we have to do the show here today. But with that said, let's go ahead and get it right here. The list is right here, and we got Justin coming through, popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. That's what we're talking about, bud. Justin coming through, and he gets the crown, and that's not the color that I wanted. He gets the crown for coming through, and it's not working. It's starting to get very unresponsive out here, folks. And Justin gets the crown, popping the cherry, current king of the jungle, and it seems we have someone else coming through. Can we see this on the screen? It seems we have someone else coming through, and we're going to let this play out, and then we'll put that person on the list. Justin's on the list. He's coming through. He's supporting the show. There's not content. Look at these beautiful clouds. I'm like a weatherman. You know what I mean? Can you find this show anywhere else?
Molly
Of course you can. That's why you don't like it.
$4.99.
That's what we're talking about. Molly's coming through, and she's coming through in a way that makes sense. Justin coming through, popping the cherry, and now Molly is in the building and making a damn point, and we're going to add Molly to the list. Molly is coming through, and in a way that makes sense. That's what we're talking about. We got Justin in the building. We got Molly in the building. As we are out here live discussing a dead game that, quite frankly, very, very few people talk about, because it is not convenient for them to talk about it, and they're not generating clicks. And that's what it's really all about these days. It's not about actual genuine game discussion. It's about, hey, how much attention can I get, and how many clicks can we garner? That's really ultimately game coverage in 2024 and beyond. And it's quite frankly very sad and disgusting, but the normies love it and they consume it day in and day out. There is really no market for actual genuine game discussion anymore if you really look and sit back and assess it. So again, we got two people coming through supporting the show. The two amigos have arrived, and we got Justin setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere, popping the cherry, and Molly coming through, following it up, coming through hard and strong with the 5. Justin and Molly coming through. We got the current list for those coming through and supporting the show in a way that makes sense. We got 104 viewers. Every time we go live, we're getting less and less viewers. Now, I know why that's happening, but I'm not going to continue to explain it here because it's a waste of time. But I will tell you that I find it funny how when we first started talking about this dead game, GTA 6, the biggest entity in all of entertainment, we went from 200 plus viewers all the way down to barely 100. We need people in here that can share the show, and quite frankly, that is a little bit more difficult than you might think it is. But I will tell you, if we were to actually get gamers in here that want to discuss the world of video, the show would be much better. The chat is totally dead. We need a 1 in the chat, folks. It is hot out here. This thing will probably overheat soon, that's why. And the audio's terrible, I can tell you that. Of course, the day that we didn't bring the great audio equipment, the audio's terrible. But I will tell you that this could very well overheat because we're in direct sunlight here. Okay, this is crazy. We're in direct sunlight here. And again, if we look at the list, we got Justin coming through, popping the cherry, and Molly. The dynamic duo has showed up. Justin and Molly coming through and supporting the show in a way that makes sense. If you're just tuning in, we actually have news regarding the world of gaming and how this correlates to GTA 6, 250 jobs cut, as Sony is going to eventually, gradually cease production of the optical disc storage, including Blu-ray discs. So this is a big one here today. The boomers are crying. It is the end, the beginning of the end, I should say, for Blu-ray discs, as Sony wants to eventually, gradually cut that out of production. Over 200 plus jobs gone, as they are going to be changing directions. And really, what does that mean for future games? And more specifically today, GTA 6. Well, GTA 6, of course, is slated to release in 2025. Does that mean that it won't have a physical edition? Well, we obviously don't know as of this broadcast. But what I will tell you is that the likelihood of GTA 6 coming to Blu-ray or any sort of disc media is lower than ever. So if you were holding out for GTA 6 to release on disc, then you might have another thing coming. So I will tell you that it's time to get prepared to be disappointed for GTA 6 for the reasons that we've mentioned for the past 4 days or so, past week or so, however long we have been trying to re-talk about this game. But I will tell you that if you were holding out for a physical release of GTA 6, it just might not very well be in the cards, at least initially when it launches in 2025. And of course, we don't know that. No one knows that right now as of this broadcast. But with the recent news that PlayStation is basically throwing in the towel for the end of producing Blu-ray discs, that is very concerning. Now, of course, is that going to happen overnight? Not necessarily. But with that said, the next 5 or so years, it is probably going to become a thing of the past, more so than it is now. So we are going into the all-digital era, as that is something that is going to happen, whether you like it or not. It's, what's that saying? You're going to, you don't own it, but you're going to love it, or something like that. You know what I mean? Shut up and take the money and be happy, but you don't own it, or whatever that saying is. You know what I'm talking about. But I will tell you that Justin and Molly coming through, the only ones left, plowing through the sludge. Justin popping the cherry, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere, and Molly coming through as well. That's what we're talking about, the dynamic duo, Justin and Molly coming through. GTA 6. How many days has it been since trailer 1? 207 days since trailer 1, and no one wants to have a conversation surrounding this game because it's not convenient for them to talk about this game. They're looking for clicks, they're looking to drive traffic, and right now this topic doesn't do that. So that's why they're not talking about it, because they're all fake phonies, and it's quite frankly very sad. If I cared about clicks, we would have covered Elden Ring about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, when the DLC was a relevant topic. I chose not to cover it because it's, quite frankly, not a fun game. It's an anti-fun game. And quite frankly, it's anti-consumer. You buy the DLC, you can't even play it unless somehow that changed. So, in my opinion, I'm not buying DLC I can't play when it doesn't even tell me, and I had to figure it out from some of these neckbeards that, oh, wait a minute, Michael, you can't play the DLC because you're not at a certain point in the game, but nowhere does it say on the purchase page that I need to be at a specific point in the game in order to play the DLC. That's anti-consumer. So I can't support garbage like that because, quite frankly, it's trash. So again, Justin coming through, popping the cherry, and Molly in the building, and we're out here live, ladies and gentlemen. We got breaking news within the games industry today, and we've said it multiple times. We're going to say it yet again. Blu-ray discs are a thing of the past. 250 jobs cut, and Sony is going to be making some changes in the coming years, and the PS6 will more than likely not have a disc drive, even as an optional thing. It is, quite frankly, the end of an era, but, you know, these Zoomers don't care. They don't want to own their games. They want to buy it all digitally, and quite frankly, I'm more in that boat now than ever because these games are so terrible, I'll tell you that. These games are so terrible. You don't really want to own them, I'll tell you. You play them, and then you're done with them. And I'd rather pay $15 a month, cancel the membership, and I can play the game, and I can play not just that game, but many other games, as opposed to going out and buying a $70 game on disc that doesn't even have the full game installed on it. Quite frankly, that's a ripoff. So, really, we're in this new era. We're in this new era, and it is very interesting to say the least. Absolutely, people need to participate. People need to participate. And I think we need to start participating in smarter ways because, quite frankly, these people in here are not going to participate. And you know who I'm talking about. They're not going to participate. So we need people to share the link. And I know the audio is terrible, but that's just the way it is today. We need people to share the link. We had a few people that used to share the link on V and several other forums. I don't think they watch anymore. But if they did, well, we would have probably a few more people in here. Because right now the participation just isn't going to happen. Not with this current crowd and what they have done to this channel in terms of exploiting YouTube algorithms and botting things and just terrible things. But it is what it is. It's really sad, but it is what it is. But it's all my fault, right? Quite frankly, it's not. You just couldn't handle the content, so you threw the towel in, and you know, you just showed your woke side, and that just could never be me. So go vote for Biden because that's really what you want to do. Stop playing that you're a fan of Trump and that you're going to vote for Trump when we know that you're a do-nothing Democrat. So that's the reality of the situation. Again, look at the list here. Justin is coming through, popping the cherry, and Molly. We got 2 supporters left. Now, I could call out people and say, where is this guy? Where is that guy? But quite frankly, if they're not in here, then they're not in here, and that's just the way it is. So we want to focus on the people that are in here, and I don't care if there's only 5 viewers left, because you know what? They're going to get the fucking show. And Justin is coming through, and he's popping the cherry, and Molly is in the building. The dynamic duo has come through, and they just made a damn point. That's what we love to see. We got brand new news today, and again, how this correlates to GTA 6 is that Sony is eventually going to end production of Blu-ray discs. Now, is this going to happen within the next couple of years? Maybe it's going to take longer than that, but eventually, especially when the PS6 comes out, that's more than likely not going to have a Blu-ray disc drive, as the current PS5 doesn't have one anyway, unless you buy it separately, I believe, right? So with that said, there are changes coming, especially with the pipeline of how Sony is doing things, and how is that going to relate to GTA 6? Well, the reality of the situation is that, you know, GTA 6 is coming out, slated to release in 2025. Will it release on disc? That remains to be seen. Will it release on disc? That remains to be seen. Will it release on disc? That remains to be seen. But with the news today that Sony wants to shift direction, because quite frankly, it's a smart thing to do, some of these retail stores aren't even selling discs anymore. There's no market anymore. It is time to move on, and they are going the way of the dinosaur. So as such, Sony is making a smart shift, and as such, with that incoming shift in the next couple of years or few years, GTA 6, the likelihood, if that does release in 2025 as it's slated currently, is that going to release on disc? The answer is probably more than likely not, because there's no I mean, it just doesn't make sense at this point to put out GTA 6 on disc. Let's go ahead and get a 3 in the chat. Let's go ahead and get a 3 in the chat. Let's go ahead and get a 3 in the chat. Yeah, Blu-ray is better. I'm not saying it's not better, but this is the current news of today. They have cut over 250 jobs at the Sony headquarters in Japan, I believe. And they're going to be eventually doing away with the production of Blu-ray discs. So it is coming to an end, and especially if Sony is putting their foot down and saying, hey, we're done doing this because, well, there's really just no market for it anymore, quite frankly. You know, Best Buy stopped selling physical media earlier this year, and I'm sure other stores have stopped doing it as well. You know, people love convenience. They love it when it's right in front of them, hot and steamy, and that's the direction that they're going to go in, right? They're not going to go in their car, and they're not going to go drive to the store. That's a boomer thing, right? That's what boomer does. Metal Jesus rocks, okay? You know, he would love doing that. But, you know, there's not many left that would want to go to the store and do that. So they are shifting their business strategy, and we are in the all-digital era. And I think that's okay, because these games that come out today are so terrible that, quite frankly, you really don't want to own them. They are so terrible that you really don't want to own them. Please contribute to the conversation other than spamming a number. Well, I guess we asked, but there might be a delay. I forgot that I asked. Nonetheless, again, if you come through, we're putting you on the list. We got Justin coming through, popping the cherry, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone of the atmosphere. No one else can match Justin. Or Molly. Molly's following it up. The dynamic duo in the building coming through. And this will be remembered, by the way, because we're going to start calling people out if they can't be bothered. And they want to perpetuate this idea that they're fans of the show. If they can't be bothered to participate with it in a way that makes sense, then quite frankly, they might need to be called out, because Justin went above and beyond, Molly went above and beyond, and no one else wants to come through. And quite frankly, it's very sad. But they want to sit here and absorb the content like a sponge on a Saturday afternoon. And quite frankly, that just could never be me. Okay, let's go ahead and start reading comments here. Let's go ahead and start reading comments here. Let's go ahead and start reading comments here. They don't include manuals anymore. That's a thing of the past. The last game I played that included a manual was probably Cyberpunk 2077, and that came out about 4 years ago. That had any goodies inside of it in terms of stickers and postcards and things of that nature. Cyberpunk 2077, and it came out 4 years ago. So they don't include that stuff anymore, and as such, you're getting less for your money. You know, these publishers used to include the manuals and the maps and all that stuff, but these days they just can't be bothered because they want to cut costs. And physical media, of course, is going the way of the dinosaur, as confirmed by today's news that it is basically the final nail in the coffin. Over 250 jobs are basically done. The key manufacturing hub, a decline in demand for traditional storage formats. They will gradually cease production of optical disc storage media products, including Blu-ray discs. So there's other stuff as well that's going the way of the dinosaur, but Blu-ray discs, that's the main, thing. You put the game in the console, it's a Blu-ray disc, and that is going the way of the dinosaur. With I would assume in the next 5 or so years, it is a thing of the past. And again, how this correlates with GTA 6, you look at GTA 6 slated to release in 2025, and is GTA 6 going to release on disc? That's the big question. Is GTA 6 going to release on disc? And now with this news here today, I think it honestly confirms that it probably, more than likely, will not be releasing on disc. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and get a 5 in the chat. I would hate to spam the members again, as I don't like spamming notifications, but I don't know where everyone's at on a Saturday. They should be right up in here watching this show, because, we weren't live yesterday, and someone else is coming through. That's what we're talking about. We got Dr. Blitz. The 3 amigos have assembled here, and that is fantastic. The 3 amigos have assembled, and that is ultimately what we want to see. So we got Justin coming through, popping the cherry. We got Molly in the building, and now we got Dr. Blitz coming through in a way that makes sense. That's what we're talking about. Dr. Blitz is in the building, and he's coming through with, I believe, the $5 super chat. So we got Justin, we got Molly, we got Dr. Blitz, and we got someone else coming through. The support is finally coming through.
Dr. Blitz super chatted $4.99. 7-Eleven exclusively has Infinite Swirl Mountain Dew, pineapple flavored.
Really? Okay, let's read this again. Dr. Blitz coming through. We just put you up on the list with the 5. 7-Eleven exclusively has Infinite Swirl Mountain Dew. Never heard of it, but we'll have to maybe look into that.
Archive 82 super
Archive
chatted
82
£20.
coming through hard.
I hope you're doing well, Michael. I think physical media died off when streaming services took over. No point owning physical anyways, as it's mostly crap released these days.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is going the way of the dinosaur, and we do appreciate that. Archival 82 coming through hard and strong, and is the current king of the jungle with the $20 super chat. That's what we love to see, getting the energy up in here in a way that makes sense. Archival 82, let's get you up on this damn list. I'm going to put you in gold letters, because that's what you damn well deserve with the $20 super chat. That's what we love to see. Let's go ahead and get some dubs up in the chat. Archive 82 is in the building and coming through in a way that makes sense. Archive 82, current king of the jungle, and coming through in a way that makes sense. That's what we're talking about, bud. Archive 82. We got Justin setting the mood, the vibe, the tone of the atmosphere, popping the cheer. We got Molly following it up. Dr. Blitz in the building. And Archive 82, current king of the jungle, coming through hard and strong with the $20 super chat. That's what we love to see. And I'll have to look at that brand new Mountain Dew, because it is hot out here. Okay, the sun's right here. The sun is literally right there. And I'm surprised that this isn't overheating, because it is, quite frankly, quite hot out here today, very humid. Archive 82 coming through, and in a way that makes sense.
Muhammad Detractor super chatted $5. Oh no, mushroom.
That's what we're talking about.
Mushroom.
Mohammed coming through with a $5 super chat. Mohammed in the building. That's what we love to see. So the list is almost full here, and if we need to make it bigger, we will. Justin coming through, popping the cherry, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere. Molly following it up in a way that makes sense. Dr. Blitz in the building. Archive 82, current king of the jungle. And now we got Muhammad coming through. Archive 82 coming through hard and strong with the $20 super chat. As we are live, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 207 days, I believe, since GTA 6 Trailer 1. And again, if you are just tuning in, we got brand new news today that Sony has cut 250 jobs, as Blu-ray discs are eventually going to become a thing of the past. We knew this was coming, but today we got big news that is basically a priority at this point, as demand for physical media seemingly is out the window. So as such, what does that mean in relation to GTA 6? What that means is basically that the game is going to probably more than likely launch digital only first, as it's slated to release in 2025. So I would not expect a physical edition of GTA 5. You know, we saw it with the GTA 5 PS5 release a couple of years ago. There was no map or manual included, so they were skimping out on the physical releases anyway. And I think the last time that Rockstar has put in a map in their game case was Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018. Cyberpunk 2077 released 4 years ago in 2020. That came with a bunch of stuff. Most people didn't buy that game on the disc. But with that said, physical media is officially, the final nail in the coffin is getting hammered shut, and eventually Blu-ray discs are not going to be a thing. And I think with the PlayStation 6, it is definitely not going to have a disc drive, not even an optional one. It's just going to be completely out the window. And that's the reality of the situation. But is it really a big deal in 2024? Because you look at the quality of software, you look at the releases, and you have to ask yourself, do I really want to own this game for $60, $70, play it for a couple of days, put the game back in the game case, and throw it up on the shelf? Is that really an experience anymore? And in my opinion, in 2024, it's not. It's not that much of an experience anymore, because back in the day, you got a bunch of goodies with it. You got the map, you got the manual, you got an advertisement, you know, this, that, and the third. It was just an overall experience. And these days, you don't get much stuff. You don't get much stuff, okay? So I will tell you that it is, quite frankly, sad, but at the same time, maybe it's what's needed. Maybe it's what's needed, because physical media is going the way of the dinosaur, okay? Physical media is going the way of the dinosaur. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. We've been live for how long? 30 minutes? 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We've been live for 40 minutes out here, and it is hot, but it is still going. I'm surprised it hasn't overheated, because it's in direct sunlight, folks. This is in direct sunlight. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks. Welcome to my stream. Be sure to click on that sub button. You guys are so amazing, and thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get a 1 in the chat. Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. Hello everyone. Let's take a look at the list. Oh my gosh, our beautiful supporters. We got Justin coming through. He's popping the cherry, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere. We have Molly coming through. She's coming through in a way that makes sense. We have Dr. Blitz coming through. Dr. Blitz carrying the show forward. We'd love to see that. Archive 82, sweetheart, you went above and beyond with the massive super chat, the $20 super chat. So incredible. And now we have Muhammad coming through. Thank you so much to all of our beautiful supporters. You guys are so cool. You guys rock my socks. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see Joe Biden? Oh my gosh. I can't wait to vote for Joe Biden. Oh my gosh. He is my president. Let's go. All are welcome over here. This is a safe space. We love it. Oh my gosh. How is everyone doing? The weather is so fantastic. You guys are so incredible. Oh my gosh. Too much content. Too much content. You don't have an audience for the content. You can't push out the content. Where are these viewers at? We got 108,000 subscribers, and you're telling me only 123 people can tune in? These are the fakest of fans I've ever seen on the World Wide Web. The fakest of fans that I have ever seen on the World Wide Web. Just absolutely pitiful. Absolutely pathetic. Claim to love the show, but can't make time for it. An oxymoron if I've ever heard of one. Unbelievable, but not surprising, quite frankly, not surprising. But we do appreciate the folks that did come through. We got Justin setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere, popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. Molly coming through, pushing it forward. Dr. Blitz in the building. Archive 82, current king of the jungle with the $20 super chat. And Muhammad is in the building as well. That's what we love to see as we are live. And in a way that makes sense, let's go ahead and get another 1 in the chat. Let's go ahead and get another 1 in the chat, because that's all you guys can say. And that's all I can say to get the goddamn chat moving. So let's go ahead and get a 1 in the chat, folks, as we're about ready to maybe wrap this one up, because it is hot out here. And quite frankly, that chat ain't moving to my liking. So it is what it is, but I guess we'll be back for a walking stream because, well, this one The audio is terrible, more than likely, and it is hot out here. But if you are just tuning in, again, we'll reiterate the news today. And the news today is that Sony, and it just got off the screen, but they are eventually going to end production of Blu-ray, okay? Blu-ray is becoming a thing of the past within the next 5 or so years, if I had to guess. Sony has cut 250 jobs regarding Blu-ray and, physical media and things like that. So it is going the way of the dinosaur. How does that correlate with the conversation today, the topic GTA 6? Well, GTA 6 is more than likely, if I had to guess and hypothesize, going to be probably the first GTA, the first Rockstar game to launch digital only first. And I guess it's not that big of a deal here in 2024. But with that said, it is interesting to say the least. And Dr. Blitz coming through yet again.
Dr. Blitz super chatted $4.99. Trump called him a Palestinian. I laughed involuntarily.
That's what we're talking about. Dr. Blitz is in the building, coming through with the 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Let's go ahead and get that one right up on that screen, bud. Dr. Blitz with the 2-time Tony Hawk combo. We love to see it. This thing is getting hot, but I will tell you that it is still going. So with a 2-time Tony Hawk combo there, Dr. Blitz in the building and coming through in a way that makes sense. We're going to go ahead and do a poll here. If I can see how to do this, we're going to go ahead and do a poll here. And let's go ahead and see what you thought about the presidential debate. Who won the debate? We're going to do a poll here. I know it's slightly off topic, but it seems like that's what you guys want to talk about. So go ahead and vote in the poll here. Go ahead and vote in the poll here and let me know who you thought won in the debate. The debate was a couple of days ago. And go ahead and vote in the poll here. And we will see the results. We will see what you had to say about the presidential debate that happened a couple of days ago. Who do you think came out on top, Trump or Biden? And again, let's go through the list yet again. Justin setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere, popping the cherry, and in a way that makes sense. Molly coming through, hard and strong. Dr. Blitz in the building with a 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 making a damn point with the $20 super chat. And Muhammad in the building as well. That's what we love to see. Coming through in a way that makes sense as we are live, folks at home. And the poll right now has just 31 votes, quite low on the votes. I don't know why you guys aren't participating. You don't have to participate, but I will say that you should participate because it makes it a lot more fun to play this poll game out here. But I will say this, that we started the poll a minute ago, 32 votes, and Trump is at 78%. And 22% says Biden, by the way. Holy cow. If you're voting for Biden in my poll here, then I don't know if you really watched the debate. Because if you really think Biden came out on top, then holy cow. But hey, that's your opinion, I guess. But with that said, again, let's go ahead and shout out the folks carrying the show here today because they are important and we do appreciate it so much. Justin coming through, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, the atmosphere, popping the cherry. Molly continuing to move it forward in a way that makes sense. Dr. Blitz in the building with a 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 putting his damn foot down and saying, hey, I am the current king of the jungle with a massive $20 super chat. And Muhammad in the building as well. That's what we love to see. So that is the reality of the situation. Let's go ahead and get another one in the chat. Well, the Do Nothing Democrats love this show. I mean, they really do. They're watching in their safe space, and they just love this show. Quite frankly, they do. They love this show. But they pretend to be Trump supporters, but they love Biden. They really do. And it's like, well, if you love Biden, just come out and say it. You don't have to be a fake Trump supporter. But I will tell you that we are 43 votes. We are 43 votes in here. And Trump is in the lead, 76%. We're asking, who do you think did better in the debate? a couple of days ago. Trump in the lead right now in our poll, 73%, and Biden is at 28%. Let's go ahead and get a one in the chat. Keep it moving. I'm keeping the energy up out here, and we expect you guys to kind of maybe follow that as well. I know it's hard, but it is what it is. So again, Justin coming through, popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. And we got Molly in the building as well, keeping it afloat. Dr. Blitz coming through with the two-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82, current king of the jungle, with a $20 super chat. And Muhammad in the building as well with a $5 super chat, I believe. So again, we are doing a poll. We have 57 votes. We're going to wrap the poll up at 60 votes. So we need a few more votes, and we're going to wrap the poll up here because you guys can't even be bothered to vote. That just could never be me. But nonetheless, we're going to wrap the poll up here at 60 votes. We have hit 60 votes, and we're going to go ahead and end the poll here. We're going to go ahead and end the poll here, and the results are in. 63% of people in here said Trump had the better speech, or at least they were more entertained, or whatever the case may very well be. So 63 were on Trump's side, 36% were on Biden's side. We just wrapped the poll up, 61 votes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, they love playing contrarian in here. They really do. They love playing contrarian in here. And quite frankly, that just could never be me. Really, honestly, just could never be me. I don't know. These people obviously didn't watch the debate, because if they really thought, and I don't want to get political in here, but if you really came away from that debate, even if you're a Biden fan, like if you honestly came away from that debate and thought that Biden did a better job, like, bro, I don't know what debate you watched, but it wasn't the one that I watched. You know what I mean? And I know there's some Biden supporters out there that are like really for Biden. They just love Biden, but it's just like at the end of the day, like, bro, that debate was just not great. Okay, yeah, like, I mean, for Biden, it just really wasn't that fantastic. So, you know, obviously Trump is ready, and Biden wasn't. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation without getting too deep into it. But again, we look at the list here, and Justin coming through, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, the atmosphere, popping the cherry. Molly in the building, continuing to keep it afloat. Dr. Blitz in the building with the two-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 making a damn point with the $20 super chat. And Muhammad in the building as well. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, discussing the world of video games. And again, we got brand new news today, not great news, that Sony is cutting jobs, and eventually they're going to cease production of the Blu-ray disc. This is the end of an era for physical media. We saw this coming within just the past couple of years, but it is ramping up in regards to physical media is going the way of the dinosaur, and now Blu-ray discs are eventually going to be phased out. They're going to eventually be phased out. What does that mean for GTA 6 and future titles? That means that basically, and we'll see this with the PlayStation 5 Pro, you know, if the PlayStation 5 Pro, if it doesn't launch with the disk drive, or if you can't plug one in, then quite frankly, I think that will be very telling. But, you know, you look at GTA 6 and you look at future titles, and quite frankly, you have to ask yourself, will GTA 6 come out on disc day one? And if the answer is no, then it's pretty much over for physical media. So, but honestly, at this point, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if this were to happen about 10 years ago or something like that, I mean, it would have been a lot bigger of a deal. But you look at the way that things have gone in these subscription services, and you know, people just love buying something and not owning it. They love it. That they love to complain about that on the internet, but they continue to get their wallet out, and they love to support things that they don't even own. Very sad, but that's how the gamers are today. They have turned woke, they have turned soft, and they have turned into consumers. They just light up to the buffet. They love to consume. They don't question the quality of the food. They never will. And it is the saddest it's ever been. It is the saddest it's ever been. It is getting very hot. If there's a member in here that's being toxic, we will get you up out, just to let you know. We will be getting you up out, so I'm going to confirm if you're being toxic, because I literally do not see this in anyone else's chat. Like, this is the most toxic YouTube chat in all of this platform. I have not seen anything like this, and I watch the most trolled streamers, and they actually have viewers. And I will tell you that their chat is very tame compared to mine. And I don't know how they do it, in the sense that they keep the chat pretty normal, but over here it's just impossible because there's a lot of schizos watching, I'll tell you that. And that just really could never be me. Very sad, yep. Very sad. Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. That's the saying that I was looking for earlier. These gamers don't care. They line up to the buffet. They don't question the quality of the food. They line up to the buffet. They don't question the quality of the food. And they are there to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to consume. And here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to make an announcement right now. I'm going to look at the chat. If it doesn't move, and I'm going to set a timer here. Hey there, set a 5-minute timer.
I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but as...
Okay, well, you're useless. How do we set a timer? Hey there, set a 5-minute timer. Okay, we have set a 5-minute timer over here. We have set a 5-minute timer over here. And we're going to look at that chat. And if that chat doesn't move, we are out in about 5 minutes. So it's going to be an hour-only show as the chat just refuses to move. And that's not on me. Okay, I'm not the one behind the keyboard having the ability to chat. Okay, I'm out here doing the show. So if people don't want to chat, we are going to be wrapping this up at the 1 hour mark. So we're putting a 5-minute timer on the show here, as the chat was not moving there for a good 2 minutes, and I just can't do that. I'm sorry. So, you know, if we have to keep the show shorter, it is what it is. But I think we had a pretty solid show, all things considered. Direct sunlight, terrible audio, not ideal. But nonetheless, with that said, I think we had a pretty good show. So let's go ahead and reiterate who came through and recognize that. We got Justin coming through, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone of the atmosphere, popping the chair. We got Molly following it up in a way that makes sense. Dr. Blitz in the building with a 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 putting his damn foot down and coming through with the Bruce Wayne bucks. $20 super chat, and Muhammad in the building as well. So those people came through, and we have a few more minutes left, about 3 minutes left here. And the chat has just completely given up on the show. So as such, there's not much I can do. I mean, I can ramble out here, and I got great energy today, quite frankly. I think the energy today is pretty good compared to some shows. But I will say that it is falling on deaf ears. So we need to get this show in front of new eyeballs. We need to get this show in front of gamers. We need to get this show out there. So if you know how to share the link, and especially in a way that makes sense, that would be much appreciated for future shows like this, because in order for this to grow, we have to move on from the dead weight and go forward in a way that makes sense by getting it out in front of new eyeballs, so that we can find people that really want to be a part of this. And we will roll the red carpet out, as we have done for our supporters here. We got Justin again coming through in a way that makes sense, setting the mood, the vibe, the tone of the atmosphere, popping the cherry. Molly following it up in a way that makes sense. Dr. Blitz coming through with the 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 coming through hard and strong and loud with the $20 super chat. Current King of the Jungle, and Muhammad as well. So those are the people that came through. We got about 2 minutes left on the clock here. 2 minutes left on the clock here, and then we will be officially wrapping this one up. But with that said, in order to wrap it up in a way that makes sense, Sony is eventually phasing out the disc, Blu-ray disc. They are eventually phasing out the Blu-ray disc, and as such, what that means is that, well, the gaming landscape is going to be changing more so than ever in the next 5 or so years, as those new consoles more than likely will be out, PlayStation 6 and what have you. And as such, the future of gaming is going all digital. And like they say, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And that is seemingly more so now than ever coming to fruition. That is seemingly more so now than ever coming to fruition. So it is the reality of the situation. We got 1 minute and 20-something seconds left on the clock here, as we are going to be wrapping this up. And it looks like someone else is coming through the pipeline here. It is getting really windy out here, so I don't think you can hear a damn thing. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and put you on the list, Blood. We got Floyd coming through. Floyd Money Mayweather's in the building. And he's coming through. Floyd Money Mayweather is in the building. Let's go ahead and get Floyd up here on the list. That's what we love to see. Floyd coming through with the 2. And that will play us out here as the timer has 44 seconds left. And we will be wrapping this up. We will be coming back a little bit later on. Floyd coming through.
Floyd J. Tilton super chatted $2. Love the show.
That's what we're talking about, Bud. Floyd coming through, and we got you up on the list. Again, let's go through the folks at home that have come through. We got Justin setting the mood, the vibe, the tone, and the atmosphere, popping the chair. We got Molly continuing to push it forward in a way that makes sense. Dr. Blitz with a 2-time Tony Hawk combo. Archive 82 coming through with the Bruce Wayne Bucks, putting his damn foot on the table. Muhammad as well with the $5 super chat, continuing to keep it afloat. And then with the last super chat, Floyd coming through and pushing it forward as the timer has expired, folks. The timer has expired. We have been live for 1 hour. We have been live for 1 hour. And with that said, our final look at the folks at home that came through and supported today's show. This broadcast right here again, Justin, Molly, Dr. Blitz, Archive 82, Muhammad, and Floyd. And with that said, that is going to do it. The future of gaming is bleak. And with today's news that Sony is moving in a different direction, and they are basically going to be, well, they're not basically, they are eventually going to be ceasing production on the Blu-ray disc. Very sad news for the boomers and very sad news for the folks at home that like physical media. And what does that mean for GTA 6? That basically means that it will probably not be, at least at launch, when it's releasing in 2025, slated to release in 2025, a physical edition for GTA 6. So with that said, that is going to do it. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, and supporting the show. And we will see you later. It's over.